Join me today for talking about GenCon Day 1, 2024. This is the Geek Ball channel. I'm Bob, and today we're going to be talking about how Day 1 of GenCon 2024 went. So, we had a bit of a hiccup with getting certain things going. I'm going to talk about that in the summary video. That's a whole story. There's a whole deal there. But yeah, it was something. So stay tuned for that. Let's see. So we did make it in time to get inside the dealer's hall, like first thing. There's a massive sea of humanity. I've got a video of that. I'll probably put that in the montage, although I might put it at the end of this. No, I'm going to put the montage. I have my laptop, and I'm less adept at editing the videos on there, and I'm going to try to actually get this up here during GenCon. Which, by the way, no guarantees any more videos will, because we're just going to see how timing works out, but we're going to try to, and if not, they're going to be put up in the next few days right after GenCon. In fact, Chad is also here. It's kind of late. He's already asleep. We recorded the whole way up here, so it's going to be like a podcast kind of episode, because we just kind of meander and talk about a whole bunch of things. One of which is, obviously, GenCon and some things we're kind of looking forward to, and so, because we never did get around to actually recording that video. So, you're going to see some of the stuff I was looking forward to, because I bought a bunch of it. So, let's go through the pile of loot here first. I got, let's see, the BattleTech second Star League Assault Lance. I don't know how well you guys can see that because of the lighting in here. This is the first place this has been available. This isn't available for retail yet, but I'm sure it will be fairly soon. This is the second set that one of the mechs comes pre-painted. There's definitely going to be an unboxing video of this, don't worry. Because this also has a vehicle in it, which I don't have my mercenary stuff from the Kickstarter yet, so this will be the first of the vehicles I've actually seen. And I didn't buy the other set, the first Star League set that has a painted Orion. I believe it was painted for Alexander Kerensky, I believe. This is for Victor Steiner Davy, and it's the Daishi that he used whenever they led the assault against the clans after the clan invasion. So I got two of those. And yeah. By the way, just looking through the window here, this is a pretty good paint job on this. So yeah, if you can use it as is. But I've already seen people have already covered him in primer from the first set. I've already covered him in primer, and the primer takes to it pretty well. It covers up paint pretty easily. Got a poster. Now, I think this was in the Kickstarter, but I'm not 100% certain. Got this from Catalyst, and I bought the BattleTech stuff. Here's the image of it. Hopefully you guys can see all of it there. Yeah, it's a trifold. Then on the back is, I believe, up through Mercenaries, all the plastic mechs that are on there. And I'll do probably in a post-GenCon video. I'm not going to do a video just for this poster, but I'll probably do it like in the unboxing or the GenCon video. I'll get some pictures and show you guys the whole thing. Now, so I managed to pick up the Field Force Manual for House Davian, which they had mentioned that this was going to be available. And then they also had the one for House Kirita, which they did not mention. I don't believe it was going to be available at GenCon. These are kind of similar to the codices for Warhammer 40k, or at least that's what I get from the description. I won't know until I actually read through them. But just remember, unlike Warhammer, you're not bound by faction rules as far as miniatures and whatnot. I probably won't be reviewing this one because I bought this for someone else. So I'm going to be giving it to them hopefully tomorrow, unless I get another copy of it. But I wasn't 100% certain where funds stood, so I thought it best to get the other one that wasn't announced. So be reading through this one as quick as I can, try to get a review up so let everyone know what's actually in there. So put those out of the way. Now the novels were on sale, buy two, get one free. So I went ahead and bought 3 of them I don't have yet. The most recent review I did was for No Substitute for Victory, which focused on Clan Jade Falcon. And then this is another Jade Falcon book, A Question of Survival. I'll have to see. I think this one takes place first, but I'm not 100% certain. I'll have to check the dates. And then the follow-up to that book, which was the whole point of reading the No Substitute for Victory, to get to be able to read Without Question, which is the newest Jade Falcon book. Now, that one and the one I just showed you are both by Brian Young. I'm not sure offhand if I've read any of his books yet, but I hear good things about these, so, here's hoping. And then this is the newest book, In the Shadow of the Dragon. And this one is by Craig A. Reed Jr. I have read some of his books. They were definitely good. This is House Kirita, and this is set before the Damocles sanction. So that's why, if you can't tell here, for those of you who know stuff about BattleTech, this is the Dark Age era symbol. So it takes place before the Ill Clan era. And I'm going to just double check the last chapter here, because the whole book should go chronologically. The book ends before the Battle for Terra begins. So this is all the Dark Age here. Be reading through these in the near future. And these are all like actual books. These aren't novellas. So, and I'm glad to see that their catalyst is going towards that with more and more. And then finally, I bought the New Art Beginner box set, which for those of you who saw, I did do an unboxing of the Game of Armored Combat new box art to show there was a handful of things that were different, not a whole lot. And I'm not sure there's anything different in this one, but we'll open it up and find out. But these were half price with the ticket from the coupon book, which, since this isn't a BattleTech video, it's a GenCon video. This is the coupon book, which I've talked about before in other videos. And you see you have coupons for various things at GenCon, and you pick these up near the customer service kiosk. The back is usually like a thing for boss monster cards the last several years. There'll be a ticket in here. There's one for Catalyst, and it is good for 50% off the Shadowrun Beginner box or the BattleTech Beginner box, or $5 off any board game. So, I might go ahead and pick up another one of those. Then, this is what everyone's after, the Crystal Cast coupon to get your official GenCon die, which I wasn't able to pick this up due to events until we were leaving, so I haven't used any of the other coupons. I used Chad's coupon on the beginner box. So, so I might pick up another one. Half price, why not? With Crystal Cast die, and I've actually got to look through this to see if there's anything worthwhile. Other than that, I haven't had the chance to do that yet. I need to get moving with this. So if it ends up being anything, I'll mention in the other videos, which will be way too late for anyone to do anything about it. But if you're there and you haven't seen any of this stuff, pick up a coupon book. Also, here's a copy of the physical program guide. I was actually finally able to find one. Excellent artwork on the front. They showcased this a few months ago online. It's very good. I haven't had a chance to flip through this yet either. So, but this has got like physical maps of the various buildings, the downtown area, just all kinds of important maps in here. Now, the digital version of this is already up, and this year, I have to apologize, we definitely dropped the ball on like our pre-GenCon videos. So there's definitely some things that we should have mentioned that we didn't. That was one of them. Let's see. Then I picked up the latest DragonLance book, Dragons of Eternity, and this is the third in the new trilogy. The other two books were very good. Got high hopes for this one. And since I got it here, I got the little souvenir pin that you're probably not going to be able to see too well. Maybe you can. So I've got all three of these for all three of the books, which is excellent. And I need to take that with me to get it signed, because I didn't get a signed copy. So it wasn't available as an option. There's a huge, I was in a hurry, and there's a huge line to get it signed, or there was walk up and buy the book. So I wanted the book, Now I'm going to try to get it signed because my other two are signed. Stop by the Dwarven Forge booth. I haven't got the pictures and the videos and everything for that yet. I will. But they have a little signage here for Dungeons Reforged, which will be their next. It won't be Kickstarter. It's going to be on GameFound. And they're kind of reconfiguring some of their dungeon stuff. I'll see what else I can get on this. And if any of them will talk to us, we'll give that a shot. Because a couple years ago, one of them did talk to us, Chris. So we'll see if one of them has a few minutes to speak on the topic. Might be in the convention center, so you might not be able to hear a damn thing whenever I try it, but we'll give it a shot. And then finally, I picked up new stuff for Terraforming Mars. And this is all like stuff that was from their Kickstarter that isn't available for general public release yet. This is the Milestones and Awards set. And I haven't really done any videos on Terraforming Mars. I love the game, though, so we'll definitely do some more stuff on it. But for those of you who played the game, each of the boards for each map have different milestones and awards. This is a set of like 70 of them. So you have all kinds to choose from. Either choose them randomly or choose specific, whatever. And replace the ones that are on each of the boards. I have not even begun to look through these. So I'm expecting these to make the games very interesting. And then Prelude 2, which I haven't opened yet. For those of you who play the game, it's more Prelude cards, more corporations. Let's see. In Prelude 2, most of the cards are specifically connected to other expansions. So like the Venus, Colonies, Turmoil. The 5 corporations and 13 of the Prelude cards are playable without any of the expansions, though. So these are geared more towards, if you're for sure playing one of the expansions, it'll do something related to that expansion. But again, that makes a lot more sense if you play the game. But this was one of the things I wanted to get to back the Kickstarter for and just forgot I was running. And yeah, so I'm very glad I was able to pick this up. This was definitely a highlight of what they had in the Kickstarter. The other's the maps, which they were sold out of by the time I got there. But they said they might be getting some more in before the end of the show, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. If we get those, I'll definitely talk about those, because they have the maps. Each one is like a different side of the planet. Planet Mars, obviously. Well, they have a new one that's larger. It's not as, it's a different side, but it's also like 30% larger, and so it'll make the game take longer. Which I know some people are like, oh God, why would you ever want to do that? Well, there's a certain attitude and mindset for that, and I and my sister have it. So, and then promo cards from years past. I believe it's 2021, 2022, and 2023. So I know these are available on the website. I didn't know that up until like a month ago, because I thought I missed out on getting these in the Kickstarter, and people charge like a lot more on eBay for these things. I say a lot. I paid $10 for them. Most people want like 25 for a set, which, now that I say that out loud, gives me some ideas. But we'll talk about that later, not in this video. But yeah, so that's most of what I picked up. My friend Chris and I went through a run on True Dungeon. That was exciting. And this year, like last year, they did it so you actually had an option of like choosing a combat heavy path or a puzzle heavy path. We chose combat heavy. That seemed to definitely work out for us. So, because Chris and I, these puzzles are a major pain. And yeah, so, but we made it to the final room, but we didn't have time to actually finish off the boss, and we really felt that they rushed us through it. That like we should have probably had another round of combat, because we only had 2, and there's no way you can kill that thing in 2 rounds. So yeah, that was definitely a thing, and felt a little sketchy on that. So might be firing off an email on that. Not to be that guy, but for the price we're paying for it, like, would have actually liked the real chance of actually killing the final boss. Because Chris and I have made it through a couple times, which as long as you slay the last boss, you survive all the way through and you get a special badge for it. And we've got those from some other runs. But This year and last year, we did not. But as far as all the treasure and everything, you just had to make it to the last room. That's the important part. And which, like I said, we did. Spent a long time this morning in the Catalyst booth line. I got there very quickly to get in the line, but they have their booth isn't huge, and they can only have so many people inside of it at a time because it's enclosed to keep track of merchandise, obviously. So they're limited in how many people can be inside of it. So they had to, slowly, and then you've got there are several points. There's just a line of people in the booth to check out. And I want to be clear, I'm not listening to any kind of criticism towards Catalyst. Like, things take time. I mean, it's, hurry up and wait. But several of the people that are run the company and major authors, like Michael Stackpole's the guy, the older gentleman, like taking the tickets there at the gate for the numbers. And then I know Lauren Coleman was there because I remember from last year what he looked like. And I'm sure the other people are the other like Catalyst people. The problem is I don't know them by their face, and half the time, you see them, their badges turn around the other way, and I don't think they do that intentionally or anything because they want people to talk to them. So yeah, got through that. That took a while, and then I kind of wandered around a little bit. Met up with Julius, who, for those of you who have been watching our channel for a while, he was the guy that we interviewed 2 years ago, just before the convention. He was volunteering for WizKids that year. This year he's working for Steve Jackman Games. I don't know. I don't know if I'll have any time to actually do like a follow-up with him. Because I know him from outside the convention stuff. I've known him for probably 20 years from various games and stuff. We don't live in the same town or anything, so we really only cross paths occasionally, but we talk online and stuff. And so yeah, might see if he can do a follow up. I don't know if we'll be able to do it here because he's obviously busy, and we'll have to find a spot that it's not super loud. Which, if you've been down here, that's virtually impossible. Yeah, so we'll see about that. And then some other folks I know, one gentleman in particular I know from when I used to play HeroClix nearby. He's still running for WizKids. I talked to him for a couple minutes. Everything's going good with him. Don't know who else I'm going to see from that crowd because I work with another guy that's in with them still. And I know he's showing up tomorrow. And then another gentleman, I mentioned his channel a couple of videos ago, and I'll mention it again here, Luke. I'm going to put a link in the description because I feel really terrible. I can't think of the name of his channel, but I'm going to put a link in the description to it. And he does a lot of like hobby stuff, miniature painting. He's very good at miniature painting. He's way better than I am. I ran into him. He had some things. He told me he's going to definitely have some stuff to look forward to. So definitely check out his videos. And again, I'll link to those in the description and, or his channel. And I don't know when I'll have him up, but then, don't know how long his process takes. But he told me that he plans on, he thinks he's got an interview set up with, or he knows, I should say thinks, with, I believe he said Nate from Dwarven Forge. So that could be interesting. Nate's definitely a character. And, yeah. So that's most of what I did here on day one. Chad also made some purchases. I grabbed a thing for him at the Catalyst booth. And, Chris got some stuff for True Dungeon. We sampled the food trucks. I tried the official taco for GenCon, Jurassic Pork. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But for $5 for that, compared to the price of everything else, that was a deal. But I also don't typically here's where I splurge on food. Like any other time, like I'm dirt cheap McDonald's, like I'm not spending more than I have to because none of it actually tastes great. So why am I going to go to like Wendy's and spend twice as much for, yeah, it tastes better. Does it taste twice as much better? Plus I don't do that, so I have money for things like this. So I can go and spend like $25 on a lobster roll. I haven't done that yet. That's probably tomorrow. But yeah, So that was just a note that, like, the fact they were $5, that's kind of sticks out, you know, for these things. Yeah, I went to Lucas Oil for a few things, and apparently there was a thunderstorm while we were inside True Dungeon. So when we came out of True Dungeon, there weren't a whole lot of people outside, which meant we were able to go up to Island Noodles and just walk right up and order, which that doesn't ever happen. I think I mentioned them in the past. They always have a huge line. I'll try to get some pictures or video or something, probably in the big montage to finale for everything. Or I might put another video. We'll see what happens. But I'll give you guys an idea of what the line usually looks like for Island Noodles versus, oh, hey, let's just walk right up. It's all about timing, just like everything in life. So anyway, I think that's about it. So we'll see if I actually am able to record some of these for like days 2 and 3. 4 will probably have to be after I get back home, or Chad and I'll just do a wrap-up video in the van on the way back. But yeah, because I know I'm potentially staying up a lot later tomorrow night and the night after, so we'll see. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you going to the show? Have you been to the show? Are you doing anything here? Anything you'd like to see? Let me know down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It's YouTube. But otherwise, we'll see you folks later.